Hi guys, welcome back to our fourth installment to our webinar series. This time we're going to be talking about social media and in particular talking about social media engagement. It's a topic that we've noticed recently that everybody seems to be talking about, and obviously the main questions are how to drive engagement across different social media platforms and everything else. There are a lot of reasons why we might look into this. It certainly does help drive conversions, not only on social media, but once everything ties together as a multi-channel strategy, it does apply to email marketing as well. So we're going to go into this one nice and easy. So what is the engagement rate? So engagement rate obviously appears everywhere, all over your different social media platforms. And it actually is a little simple calculation. It's done automatically by each platform, and it tracks exactly how active your audience is with your content. So that'll be through through things like likes, comments, and shares. So it's definitely worth making sure your content is valuable.
I know that you can actually get a lot of the engagement rate shown to you through the social media platforms. So like on Facebook, analytics would show your engagement rate, and then any scheduling tool you tend to have would show engagement rate on across all your channels. So for example, we use one of our main ones that we use to schedule is Content Studio, and they will show you the engagement rate across all of your platforms that you choose, or just in a single like a single channel. So for example, if you want to look at all your social media at once, you can look at the engagement rate across that, and then you can also just look at the individual profiles like Facebook and see how engagement rate is performing. But it does take into consideration likes, comments, shares, any other reactions, and that's basically what engagement rate is. It's pretty simple to explain.
Yeah, I think tools are really helpful because you can just have all the information in one hit rather than say look at each social media channel individually. However, it's suitable if you only have one channel anyway. So we've got some examples at the end, so it'll give you a clear idea of where to find it, particularly if you're just using LinkedIn. On all the other social media platforms, they'll have like a insight section or activity section or something under some settings somewhere, and it'll just give you all that data for you. So we come quite quickly on to what is the ideal engagement rate. So this figure can be anywhere between 1% and 5%. Anything above 6% is actually really good. Anything below 1% is not ideal. It can be harder for you to achieve this with larger audiences just because the way they calculate some of the content, particularly if followers are following a lot of different accounts, they could quite often miss your content. So it may be a case that's the problem, but also from your point of view, it might be a case that actually the content doesn't resonate with your audience or most of your audience anyway.
Yeah, I mean, with engagement rate, 1% to 5% might seem low, but it is actually like the ideal number of people out of your audience to try and interact, because they're not just like actively just like seeing the information you're giving them. They're going on it, they're actually leaving comments, they're replying, and they're sharing across their platform. So it's quite, you'd have to have the right call to action and have something that they're actually interested in reacting to and sharing to, which is why it's quite difficult to achieve anything too extraordinary on engagement rate. Like 99% or something is kind of ridiculous. So the 1 to 5% might seem low, but it's actually quite a good percentage to go for.
Yeah. I mean, if you had a 99% engagement rate as well, that would mean like literally all of your followers interact with that piece of content. And quite simply, that's just not how it works, and is impossible for a variety of reasons, as the ones I've just covered. But your followers will also not always be around or online or things like that. So you might find that engagement rates actually do drop off during periods like Christmas and New Year and Easter holidays, because people actually are not actually online. So it's just something to bear in mind.
Yeah, definitely with the times as well, like people might not be around really late at night or really early in the morning. So kind of if you want to find the ideal time, kind of do some A/B testing just to see when your audience are around and when performs best for you. So we find that LinkedIn is quite good around like 8:30, 9 o'clock, between that kind of time. And,
Mm.
and then it does ease off in the day, and then a little bit again later at night. So just kind of test, and then you can also search for when people have suggested that you can post. But it's
Yeah,
really like depends.
absolutely. I 100% agree. I think engagement rate really does tell you a much bigger picture in terms of what time people are logging on, what they're trying to interact with, the type of content that they're looking for. But also, it really depends on your brand as well. So, for example, a company I used to work for, they found that actually posting later on in the day between 5 and 7 o'clock in the evening benefited them, because it, it their product that they were selling was being used more for the evening time anyway. Um, yeah, so you wouldn't necessarily use it throughout the day because people would be at work or whatever the case might be.
That's where scheduling tools come really in handy, because you don't want to have to be posting at like 7, 8 at night through like manually. So having scheduling tools does allow you to be able to post at any time of day.
So I think we've already covered this topic a little bit in our just the previous conversation we were having. But it's important that you use this metric, because obviously we don't typically like to look at vanity metrics, because you're just basing it off likes and not really nailing down who your audience is and how they're interacting with your content. So you can only go so far as, the first thing that you see. Whereas if you're looking at your engagement rate, you can actually apply this to other areas of your marketing. So you can actually use this for email marketing. If you find a content that works in particular with your audience on social media, you'll most likely find that your audiences on your email marketing channel will be quite effective as well.
Yeah, and with engagement rate, it's not necessarily like how many people engage with your content, it's who's engaging with your content, just making sure that the right people are getting the message, and it's people that you actually want to target. So someone might have like hundreds of thousands of likes, but if they're like, bought accounts, or people that are just kind of following hashtags for like follow for follow kind of is an example, if it's not the right people looking at your content, then this is where the vanity metrics comes into play. It's not actually doing anything for your brand, it's just kind of showing you a high number of engagements without actually much repercussion.
Yeah, exactly. So vanity metrics don't go so far as getting conversions and customers through the door. So you've just got to be wary of that. And drawing on your point a little bit more, April, in the fact that some followers, especially on Instagram, you might find that they're actually bots and not real people. So it's just making sure that the content is resonating with real people that you want to target. So this is a question that everybody else. So how can we get good engagement on social media? And we'll start with the copy. So it's very easy to get carried away with this kind of thing. So writing paragraphs upon paragraphs of information, not everybody's going to read it, quite frankly. So what you want to do is start with a hook. A hook is probably around, I'd say 4 or 5 words, maybe even a sentence. And I've provided a little example there below. As you can see, it's how can you save X in 6 months? And then you could go on to explain the rest of the story, and then you'll finish it off as your CTA at the end. So actually, writing a good hook is key for normal posts, carousel posts, and video content as well. But let's not ignore the rest of the copy either, because actually having a little bit of copy just might help your audience understand a little bit more about you. But it is wise to keep everything short and sweet.
Yeah, it's the KISS metric, isn't it? Keep it simple, stupid. Is the
Yeah.
the ideal the ideal one to go for. Yeah, keep it. I mean, the hook is just such an important because it's the first thing people are going to see. Have something that has figure based. So, like in the example, how can you save X amounts in 6 months? You're basically solving a problem that they already have straight away, or keep making them think about, is this a problem they have, or is it a problem they are looking to solve a bit later on? Because a lot of people on LinkedIn, for example, they're not necessarily in the market for things currently, but they know that they will be in the future. So it does give them that kind of incentive to keep reading. And again, with the hook, it's also good to have, we find on LinkedIn in particular, it's good to have emojis. They tend to kind of work quite well. So yeah, we always like to start with a few emojis, and it kind of just, makes the copy more interesting and kind of brightens up the
Yeah.
message.
I think if you write your hook, you need to be addressing a pain point, followed by a relevant emoji. And then the rest of the copy can either back up the hook or the claim that you're making, and then also just provide a little bit more information, clear and concise messaging towards your audience.
With with a really concise call to action as well. Just kind of like finish
Yeah.
it off with what they need to do next.
I mean, every single part of your copy is important, so you should not choose to ignore it. And
Yeah,
that goes across different content types as well. So just bear that in mind.
and also use relevant hashtags is also good. Want to kind of finish off after the CTA. The power of hashtags. There are I think we've discussed that in a previous webinar, but yeah, hashtags are really good at kind of grouping together your content and kind of making it easier for people to be able to find you.
Then we come on to talk about imagery and photography. So photography, I meant as in like video content, and imagery more towards the high quality still images. So obviously bearing this in mind, you'll need to make sure that you're using high quality images and videos to keep your audience's attention. A blurry video is not particularly great, and you will find that actually not a lot of people want to watch that. As long as your images and videos are authentic and also, good quality, you'll find that this helps massively as well.
Yeah, definitely. As well with graphics as well. Like creating high quality graphics that kind of just stick out are a key way to add additional information you don't necessarily want to have on the copy as well.
Yeah, I think in a video or image, you could actually say more than you mean as well. So you could actually keep your copy quite short and sweet, but also have your image and your video back this up as well. So yeah, just play around, experiment, do A/B testing, and then just see what works for you. And obviously, don't forget your CTA. So they're incredibly important. The more you personalize this can improve your I think it's conversion rates by 200%. Off the top of my head, I was trying to read earlier. So yeah, just to make sure that your CTAs are personal, and also it's varied as well, so you can actually experiment on your CTAs instead of like using your generic click here.
Yeah, I know that people are less likely to want to phone people as well straight away. So it's always good to have a link to find out more, or the option to, like, if you're on LinkedIn, for example, to drop your message, um, or even like leave an email address as well, to be able to find out more. Just because, I mean, people do still phone, but I know that, people have watched Scream too many times and know the dangers. Plus, people don't really like to phone, particularly in my kind of like generation. The younger generation are a bit more drawn back from that. So having
Yeah,
those options are having multiple options to be able to get hold of you or find out more is definitely something that you should have across your website and across your socials.
absolutely. I agree. And I think, having a CTA is like a first date. I mean, everything is like a first date. You've got to try and get their attention and then also try and keep them coming back for more, find out more information before actually pushing them towards a purchase decision.
So romantic.
Right, so we're on to some examples here. We've used a few examples from our own social media page, which I've included a really, really good example and a really, really bad example. Um, did I do this deliberately? Well, ask me later. Um, so on the left-hand side of the screen here, we've got looking to refresh your strategy for 2023. Now, I think I could have done better with that hook, but looking at the metrics, we can see that quite a few people viewed this particular carousel. And then obviously we're looking at the engagement rate. We're not necessarily looking at the 7 likes that we've got there. We've had 34 people click on it, but 31.78% engagement rate, which is really, really good. That just shows you that people interacted with that really, really nicely, looked through it, and obviously came away with some information.
Yeah, I think that definitely performed well for us. And I think it was the kind of content as well. Like the 2023 strategy is something that other people would want to, like our current audience would want to actually know what we're planning for the year. And even stuff people like competitors would want to know the kind of things that we've got planning for the year. So having that kind of engaging content, the hook, it says what it's going to do straight away. You've got the hashtags, and you've got the engaging and really colorful, easy to understand graphic that does fit really well with our other branding as well. So you can tell straight away that it's Baker marketing content, even if
Apologies, April, I think you're frozen.
didn't tell straight away that it's us.
Apologies, April, you froze there. Would you mind just reiterating some of the points that you were making?
Yeah. What did I get up to?
I think you were talking
Yeah.
about the colours matching the brand.
Yeah. So luckily with a lot of the content that we post, and including in this one, you can tell that it's something that Baker Marketing has posted. Because it has, it includes the logo, it includes all the brand colors, and it's the kind of like font that we use continuously. So even if we didn't necessarily have the Baker Marketing name at the top or the logo at the top, you could tell straight away that it's us. So people can know that it's something from Baker Marketing and will engage if they're interested. So it's always important to kind of keep branding in mind when you're creating your graphics, or even using images. Use something that relates to your brand, because they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So kind of have something that goes really well with the content is ideal.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's important, which is why it's a good example of why it did so well. Um, and then obviously, on the middle here, we've got another one, which we do Meme Fridays, if you don't know. This one didn't do so well, so we actually got quite a few less views than the good one onto the left here. And then we've got no likes or no engagement rate or anything like that. So we actually come away learning a lot from that post, as to say, right, okay, well, was it the lack of copy? Was it the not the right graphic? Was it something else? Was it the time of day? Um, are people simply not interested in the type of content? So we've got actually quite a lot of to learn from that.
Yeah, I remember that going out. I think it was time of day, just because memes are quite, they're not an afternoon thing, but I think we had quite a lot of content go out at that point. And it might have just, because of the time of day, it was quite busy. It might have just got lost within the feed. So it'll be interesting to see, like, if we posted it again a bit further in the future, maybe with a different copy or something, just to see if it does push it up. Just because I think Spider-Man is always amazing content and should always get good engagement from me.
Yes, absolutely. And sometimes audiences can get audience fatigue. Sorry, content fatigue. Audience get fatigued as well. Um, Content fatigue. So this is where people might find that you are reposting the same content, or your content's too similar day to day, and you might find that actually the engagement rate levels out or even drops off. So it's just nice to mix up a bit in terms of content type, and also the topic that you're talking about as well.
Yeah, because people will unfollow you if you get annoying on their timeline.
Yeah,
So yeah, you don't
yeah,
want to risk
it's
that.
you don't really want to be too spammy, so just bear that in mind as well. Um, and also just keep track of everything, because actually the data really does help you push through quiet points, and also to help repurpose content as well if you're looking to do that.
Yeah, we suggest as well like one post a day around that, because of you want to avoid that spammy nature of social media. I think Twitter's the only one you can kind of get away with being a bit spammy.
Mm.
But yeah, the other social media accounts like, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, you can't really get away with it. I'm
I
not
don't
100% sure on TikTok yet because it's
I
quite,
was thinking TikTok, you probably could get away with it, but it's a risky move considering how much content goes out every day, all the time. And also it's just how much you can produce as well. Like if you're following a trend, that's quite quick and easy. But then if you want to post another TikTok alongside that, you might actually find that you run out of ideas quite quickly, which is where we come in. But
yeah.
um, yeah, it's quite challenging, I would say, for B2B businesses anyway.
I know I was looking up once like how much people watch TikTok, because like there's so many videos, like how many videos go on there or something, and they said that like essentially people go on there like 19 times a day, so there is that time where people are coming on and going back off of it,
Mm.
and they have like over 1 billion users, um with 30.8 million daily active users on Twitter,
Wow.
uh 15 million in the UK. So I think you probably could get away with it. I mean, children are even though they're not the ideal audience, kids spend the most amount of time on TikTok, compared to like any other app.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
it
people are
is.
spending a lot of time on it.
The audience levels are leveling out now, so you are actually finding a lot of older creators on there. I mean, as in when I talk about older, I mean plus 18. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's definitely getting there, and I think people are moving away from platforms like Facebook and Instagram. I mean, I read up somewhere the other day that I can't remember. I think it was something ridiculous, like 46% of Instagram 46% of TikTok users no longer use Instagram. So it's just bearing that in mind again.
Yeah. I mean, there are a good percentage because it says people between 20 and 29 make up 22.4% of users, and then 30 to 39 evens up about 21. So even though 10 to 19 are the dominant one at 25%, it's still people in the high 20s percentages between 20 and 49. So the audience is there.
I think it's definitely due to shift more, but that's just a prediction of mine. I think, yeah, as we see Meta becoming more and more and more, the algorithms on those platforms become more challenging to overcome, TikTok will definitely pave the way ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely stormed its way into the social media world, and there's no getting rid of it at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I think it's definitely challenging for B2B, but at the same time, like if you make a start, then a start is good enough. And then you can start actually compiling data and start looking at trends that are suitable for you as well.
Exactly.
And then obviously up here on the right-hand side of the screen, we've got our engagement rate between September, which is when I started, and March. So you can see that we've had quite a few good months, if you like, but nothing lower than your 4%.
It's good to see trends as well because you could pick out seasons of when things work for you, and like if there's a particular correlation between sales and engagement rate, it'll be good to kind of help with campaigns and see when people are active and engaging with your content.
So yeah, this brings us on to a little bit of advertising, I guess. If you're struggling with your social media or struggling with content creation or anything like that, we've got our social media in a day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass everyone over to April, and April can tell us a little bit more about it.
So yeah, social media in a day is basically the concept of us being able to create up to 3 posts a week on 3 of your accounts across any of your chosen accounts, to be able to get your planning done, your content strategy done, and kind of make social media, all the things that we've talked about, including the copy. You have the option to have videos and carousels and images and graphics just done for you because of the stress of being able to keep an eye on engagement rate and actually being able to have content going out continuously, because it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to be able to do it. So the social media in a day is essentially where we will sit and create all your social media content for you in a day, for the month. And yeah, me and Jenny will get that out for you, and then we can send it to you for any approvals and tweaks. And then once it's all done, we'll send it over to you, and you can get them out any time of the week that you want them, on any of your chosen accounts. We will tailor the content to fit your chosen accounts, but it's up to you and when you want to post them, and if you want to get them out. And as a bonus, we give you a free 3-month content plan just to make sure that your content is keeping on track with what you want and you kind of have an idea of what we'll be creating for you. And the idea is for you to be able to sit back and relax while we create your social media for you. And then once we've all done it, we've done it over in a day, then you can get it out across your audience for you.
Lovely. And how do people get in touch with you, April?
Yeah, so to get in touch, you would email me because I am going to be the one that's going to manage it for you. So hopefully you'll be happy with me doing that. So the idea just to get hold of me is to just email me. I know on the next slide is my email address, but it's just april@baconmarketing.co.uk. Just drop me a line and I can arrange a call or send over all the information you need.
Lovely. And there we have it, people. So hopefully we've done that quite quickly today. So we appreciate that's quite a lot of information. But any feedback or any questions or anything else that you have for us, you can email myself or April, or even reach out to us on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, it's great to go through everything as well. So yeah, any questions, just drop me a line. And yeah, there's my email address if you want to get a hold of me for any of the social media in the day.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.